What was like the single biggest lesson you think you learned coming into prison?
Honestly, it was Andrew Tate. When Andrew Tate popped on the scene, that gave me like an unbelievable amount of fire and discipline to really plan my future.
And especially since I work with a lot of troubled youths, I want to inspire them that way you can come from nothing. You can make mistakes along the way and end up losing a couple of years of your life, but you can still turn it all around.
What was like the single biggest lesson you think you learned coming into prison?
There was a lot of lessons. Like a big lesson was that cliche saying that you're the sum of your 5 friends. I realized that was really true when I was in jail. Like I was literally the average of the 5 guys that I was training with.
Yeah.
And then I looked at myself, no wonder I was such a loser, because my mates were all drug dealers and not at the gym. That's one of the lessons. So like now I'm very cautious with who I spend my energy with, and that's why I really like spending my time at the fight gyms. It's because I get to spend time with people who are very resilient, who have a lot of heart when it comes to training. They don't quit, they don't complain, and I knew that it was toxic in a good way.
Is there any that have like translated into professional side of your life?
Yeah, the ability to do what anyone else can do. When I was in jail, anyone that could do anything, so any form of fitness, whether it be a certain amount of muscle ups, a certain amount of burpees, I always knew that if he could do it and he could achieve it, I could also achieve it. You just put in the work to catch up. Like you just kept going until you achieved it. I might not achieve 200 burpees in 20 minutes today, but I'm gonna keep trying. And then when I got out, it applied the same with my work ethic. If someone else can do it, I can also do it. These islanders can pick 300 cases an hour, I can do it also. And then when it came to personal training and like scaling my business online, I just look at all the other people who are taking the market share and I'm like, bro, if this guy can do it, I can do it. What's he doing right? If someone else has achieved something, 99% of the time it's from work ethic. And if someone else has done it through work ethic, then I can also do it through work ethic.
Have you ever had like issues with like say self-confidence or doubting yourself too much?
So pre-jail, I haven't had any issues with self-confidence so much. It was more so I had a big ego, but I never proved my ego. I always thought that I was probably better than people, but I never done anything to prove that I was better than people. I was just a bum. It was just drug dealing. I thought I was like better than everyone because I was a drug dealer and I was making more money than them. Didn't show.
Right.
And when I went to jail, I still had that ego, but I had to prove myself. When I finally like started training, I really understood if my confidence was high, the work ethic would follow, and the confidence, it would become not permanent, but it's always there. The biggest spark was it just came at the right time. Honestly, was Andrew Tate. I was always progressing slowly. I always had a bit of self-confidence, self-belief in myself in achieving more. But when Andrew Tate popped on the scene with his short-form content and his long-form content, that gave me like an unbelievable amount of fire and discipline to really plan my future. Before, I was kind of just like moving sort of in the right direction into a somewhat average to above average life. When Andrew Tate popped on the scene, it gave me like a lot of self-belief to reach for the way above average life. I've always believed in myself and who I was as an individual and how much my work ethic has proven, fitness-wise and physical-wise. Why not translate that financially-wise?
Interesting. Andrew Tate, will you say a big influence on you?
Yeah, man. Honestly, like I always liked boxing and Muay Thai, but Andrew Tate gave me like the kick to do it on a more regular basis.
Just to watch his videos?
Yeah, bro, all the time. This morning I did. So I'm actually a big fan, but I'm a big fan in the sense that I know it's positive. You know the book, I think it's Think Rich and Grow Rich? In it, I believe it's Andrew Carnegie where he has this imaginary counsel. He creates like this imaginary thing in his mind where he consults them and he talks to them on a regular basis. And that's kind of like making yourself the sum of your average 5 friends, because if you're always consulting with super successful people, even if they're imaginary and they're not physically there, it's still going to elevate you. For me, just continuously consuming Andrew Tate's content on a regular basis has only just positively pushed me to achieve more. People always say like the negative shit about like how he says about women or
he is controversial.
Controversial, but you don't have to take the bad stuff. You can just take the good stuff. He honestly saved a generation of men. And he says a lot of good shit that has gotten me into the gym to train hard, has gotten me to improve on my fight game, has gotten me to work on my business. Troubled young men who in and out of juvie, in and out of jail, come from broken homes. That's mainly like the guys that I work with. And I thought to myself, who has a large demographic audience of young men? Andrew Tate, he pretty much dominates that demographic right now. So I started to study the things that he said, the way he said it, how he communicates, because I wanted to help troubled young men better. And I've kind of just recycled it, but used it with my own personal experience on how I overcame like jail and training and like just getting into the gym and just bettering myself. That's why he's also been another positive influence on me, because a lot of the things that he said has pushed me a little bit further, and adding that with my experience in jail, I'm able to help young people when I study his stuff, especially communication. So like when you run this video back, you'll notice that I don't say and ah too much. Like I catch myself every time I say and ah. Like in my mind, I mentally make that note. But that's because Andrew Tate taught me that in one of his videos.
What's the benefit behind that, of not saying and
Because you sound like an idiot sometimes.
Right.
Like you're not sure of what you're saying. So with the boys, let's say that's like 10 group of 10 boys inside the juvie. We're doing a training program, and we just finished, and then we sit down, we have a talk about life. Usually we talk about something that helped us in jail, so they can take that on board and use that for their time in custody. When you sitting there and you're talking to these kids, you're like, so I was doing this, it just takes away from the clarity of the message and how sure you are of what you're saying. And then I noticed over time that the more I spoke in front of the boys, I got better and better and better, and I was able to just see how much more they put into training just from talking clearer, less ums, less ahs, and just taking that extra pause and noticing how they were just watching me every time I was talking.
So they're more engaged.
Yeah, more engaged, yeah. Honestly, I have to give credit to Andrew Tate, because he really helped me improve my communication. Because it's like when I do short form content, I try to do it in one take now. One take, no cuts, no nothing. When I first started doing short form content, it was like so many ums and ahs, cut. Probably like in a minute video, there'll be like 15 to 20 cuts.
Right.
Like it was like a 3-minute video that I condensed into 1 minute. Now, I try to do a long story in minimal 3 minutes, but no cuts, just upload.
Breathe in.
Alright, boss, where are we off to right now?
We're gonna head back to the house. All my daily chores for self-development and myself are all done. Now it's all about business.
Right.
Editing content, client check-ins, client programs. That's pretty much the rest of my day until I go to bed.
So right now I am just going to set up one of my new clients' onboarding tracking Excel sheets, and I just need to set him up for 16 weeks worth of programming. Most of the time when I start my clients, I get them to go straight onto calorie maintenance to reset the metabolism. But because he's my friend and he's shown me what he's actually been eating recently, like when you have a big change in your diet, so like from really low calories to really high calories, you put on weight. And my mate's really been eating at a deficit. So to avoid putting on weight from eating really low calories and going straight to your maintenance, you got to kind of gradually build it back up. I've kind of gradually been building him back up to maintenance to reset his metabolism, and he's about to actually start from maintenance.
Right, and that way he doesn't gain weight too quickly.
Yeah, he hasn't been gaining weight at all. So I'm resetting his metabolism without him gaining weight.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks for filming with us today. Why did you agree to film with us?
I thought it was nice to show people where I'm at, and it would be good content for myself to look at when I make it one day, and I can show people this video too. I was grinding. Like, I want to inspire the next generation also, like the younger version of myself. And especially since I work with a lot of troubled youths, I want to inspire them that, bro, you can come from nothing. You can make mistakes along the way and end up losing a couple of years of your life through incarceration, but you can still turn it all around. And if I can do it at the age of 27, that's when I got out, at the age of 27.
Yep.
You can certainly do it if you get out of juvie at the age of 16, 17, 18. You've got 10 years head start on me.
Looking at the future now with 1 ounce training, where do you envision the brand to be in, say, 5-10 years time from now?
I'll do a micro one. Next year I'm prepping for a bodybuilding competition in exactly about a year's time. Hopefully step on stage, and I'm expecting that journey to really grow my business for the general population to really know that I know how to lose weight. A little bit of rocket science for the average person. If you don't know what you're doing, I can guide you. The reason why you want me to teach you to lose weight versus the average bodybuilder: 1, I have personality. 2, I've gone through some shit. 3, you think you've gone through some shit, I've gone through some shit. And if I've gone through some shit, you should be able to get through losing fat and putting on muscle pretty relatively easy. I want to really grow the brand and help more than just my area of people, like my whole audience.
What about now the long term? Let's look at 5-10 years from now.
Honestly, like business wise, I won't be living here. I'll definitely be moving overseas.
Whereabouts?
I'm thinking Vietnam, but I'm also thinking like traveling like 3 months at a time at different locations. I really want to see the world and I really want to spend a bit of time in different locations.
Is there like a certain amount of money you'd like to make or a certain number of clients you'd like to have?
Man, I want to be a multi-millionaire. Obviously, my next step is to get to 10K a month and then hopefully get into the 50 to 100K a month. A friend of mine who's at the moment on the 50K a month, and he's really killing the game, and I think his work ethic is great. He can do it, I can do it. It's not just the goal that I want to achieve, but I'm also looking forward to the skill sets that I'm going to acquire along the way. So yeah, I'm really like digging this, learning about AI. I'm really enjoying my fitness journey in terms of boxing and Muay Thai. Even this bodybuilding journey that I'm going through, I've forced myself every day to consume at least one form of long form content to really understand hypertrophy training, muscle growth, and fat loss. Like I already know the basics of it because I'm a PT and I got the certifications and qualifications, and I've been built before with a six pack and all that. But to do it for a stage and really dial in and maximize the amount of muscle that you can grow, I really want to immerse myself in the bodybuilding industry and just really understand how much more finer I could refine my daily routine to maximize my potential results. And then share that knowledge with my clients and my audience too. My ultimate goal is always to help people lose fat, gain muscle, look their best. If you prep someone up for a bodybuilding show, not only does that make you look good, but you make the client feel the best that they've ever felt, because when they look in the mirror and they see the best version of themselves, like that's an unbelievable feeling. Like I know what it's like when I got out of jail, and people used to always compliment me on like how much my body has changed. Like that was a great feeling. So I understand. Yeah, I understand.